Well, hello everybody. Just got this out of the box from eBay. We got another one here. I bought it with a problem. It says as is. No transmit power AM. Transmits on sideband. Uniden Washington. 8719 chip, pretty sure. I don't actually have a manual for this one at the moment. I'm going to kind of look at the Cobra 142 paperwork here. Let me take it out and see what it's doing and confirm the situation. Alright, just got this out of the box. She's a little rough. Not too terribly bad. Plugged it in, put it on the dummy load. It didn't come with an original mic, came with this Superstar junky one. I'm gonna use my Cobra 2000 mic. Let's see. That knob's real loose. Turn another radio on here just to see if I hear anything. They said no transmit condition. Channel 20. Audio. I'll verify no transmit condition. Audio. Hello, audio. So yes, it does transmit on sideband. Audio, hello, audio. Try upper sideband. Audio. No upper sideband. The lower sideband's working. Audio, hello, audio. Audio, 1, 2, 3. 6 Wi-Fi unlocked. Audio, 1, 2, 3. It's off frequency a little bit, and they said there's a noise toy in there. So. Audio 1, 2. Well, let me start to do a little troubleshooting here. Be back in a little while.
Like a notch cut out.
Well, I'm sure that Royce doesn't work anyway. It is a Royce. But I am pretty happy to have this one working once I got all that glue and crap off of these crystals here. I'm glad that's what fixed it, because I overpaid for this one.
I think I've already got it out of the case, so
Here was the problem in
case,
this
I
one.
might just solder me a couple of wires onto the power wires and go from there.
The 7.8 crystal disintegrated off of the board, and this corrosive glue. When I got this, there was no AM or upper sideband transmit because of that crystal was taken out. There's no leads left on it. So one good thing about when you recap these radios, get you some dental tools, like these little seal tools for taking the seals off. You get them at O'Reilly, you know, for working on car parts. Scrape that glue out of there. You might have to take some parts out. I had to take the parts out of this area, get rid of the glue. I took these crystals out, and there was no leads on this one. So if you have a no transmit issue on one of these, check this. If it works on one, like, lower sideband and nothing else. All right, we'll catch you in a little bit then. No power out. If you have AM upper lower sideband, no power out, get rid of the glue from here. There's probably still a little bit left in here. I don't think so. I must have got it all. I gotta put some wire ties back in here, but I checked all these crystals, took them out, but this one here, there's no leads on it. That's important. And then on the modulation limiter, it was just fused together, so there was no audio either which way, hardly. I mean, it barely put out anything on sideband. Put a 10,000 microfarad in here, set that to 13.85. Thinking about putting an LED in here. I did a basic alignment. Found this on the internet on cbradio.nl. There's no illustrations where your test points are, so you got to look really hard. Got to build a material list for a Cobra 142 because it's the same board. So some parts that were unsalvageable, I confided with that list there where I couldn't tell what it was. A couple of diodes, just like in between these two crystals. That diode was also no legs on it. But yeah, got to finish the cleanup job on this, but I overpaid for this. Just wanted to get one again. I had to get rid of all my Washingtons when I bought my house here, and I had a couple originals too, 858, but this is a 8719, I believe. Yeah, 8719. Easy to put channels in these with some switches or a rotary switch, but don't really need to do that. It does have a built-in noise toy. Somebody already put a switch on there. So that's something. Oh, these Washingtons, where they click, click, click. If you have a Washington that makes an awful click when you change channels, and also has that stupid burp noise when you key up, like a burp, burp, every time you key up, there's actually a muting circuit in here that's muting the radio when you change channels, and also that fifth wire, the switch wire, which I'm not using right now because I'm on a mic adapter, but that wire, that circuit that mutes the receive when you change channels or when you transmit, it develops like a feedback loop, and I'll have to look that up in a minute to see what part that was again, but you can take that out and the clicking will go away when you change channels, and your burp will go away. So let me see what that part was. Yeah, looking up the diagram here, it looks like TR45 can be removed. Don't cut it. Go ahead and just desolder it to check that that fixes your issue. Don't just start clipping parts. I hate that, and you could damage something. But desolder TR45. I haven't done it on this one yet. That's why you get a pop when you change. That's typical of a 140, 142, or a Washington. I don't know why they developed the circuit that way. It doesn't really make sense. It's kind of redundant. But apparently it mutes your receive while you're changing channels. Let's see here.
CQDX, 2 Division, number 2 Division, Eagle Bender 105, 105, Arizona stateside, calling CQ, any station on the Pacific side.
Let me button this up a little bit more. I might change this to an LED.
You watch your mouth when you're talking to me.
They're pretty dim. I'll think about it here in a minute, but I do have to clean this up. The case was pretty, I don't know, funky. Paint's not bad, but just like around the headphone jack here, there's like, it's like the styrofoam it was stored in. So let me clean up on it a little and maybe change this, and we'll see how it goes. I might go ahead and remove TR45 and get rid of that click. And then I might put a 4-pin mic jack on it once the click goes away. That's one of the things, if you put a 4-pin on here without removing TR45, two things will happen. You might develop that burp, but also when you turn your volume all the way up, whether you have any sound or not, as you turn the volume about 3/4, it'll start to whine and squeal. That's that circuit that's on TR45. and that's removed, it won't do that. So if you got a burping problem and a squealing problem at high volume, look into that first. There's a capacitor in that area that's really the cause of it, but that circuit's kind of a redundant, you know, pain in the buttocks anyway. So yeah, let's see what else to do on here. Kind of trying to catch up. Power's been off for 2 days because of the storm, and I'm trying to do all the laundry and manage this too. So we'll get back at you in a bit. Well, it took me just a second to get back to it, but I've got a plastic tool here. The little transistor is right here, 2SA733, I think. That's the one, if you got a Washington that boop, burp, boop, makes farting noises, that's what you want to remove. It also, you'll still get a little bit of the clicky poppy, but as you change channels, it won't mute. More like an 858. So, anybody's got a boopy, farty 8719 Washington, remove TR45. It's not always marked. On this one, it is not marked. But, like I said, it's the one right there. And I did get the rest of the corrosive glue off of this. I'm about to bundle up the rest of these wires, clean this up a little bit and tidy it up. And there we go. I got all the wire ties back where they were from the factory. And everything seems to be working good. I'm going to continue this cleanup and reassembly. I do notice this volume control is very loose and all the other ones are pretty tight. If it gives me any trouble, I'll change that. It's the same like the mobiles. Just, you know, it's just one control instead of two. I think I've got some of those. But I'm going to get back to it. And there's what she looks like all back together with a good clean. I cleaned all these knobs. They were kind of crusty. Cleaned them all inside with some contact cleaner. Cleaned up the cover. Got a little noise toy there. They did an alright job. It's unobtrusive. No echo, no crazy power mods, no BS. And yeah, the meter light is working. It's just an incandescent, so they look kind of dim with all these bright lights I've got on. But there she is. Working pretty good now. Audio, how about you, Wally World? Modulation meter. How about you, Cheezo? Audio, 1, 2, 3, audio. Now this is one of these radios that it is okay to clip the modulation limiter because there's no modulation adjustment. You could put a 1000 ohm resistor in line with the collector on TR32. I might do that in the future, but this is kind of a run and gun thing here, so but it is okay to clip it as long as you turn your mic gain down on sideband to about 1/4 or less, or your sideband will be a little warbly. So that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to these. But everything else is pretty darn cool. Probably overpaid for this one, but I give $150 plus $50 shipping, where the shipping was actually only about $13, $14. This guy was pretty close to me. But well, that's how it is these days. But these are getting harder to find in good shape, where they're not all destroyed and noise toyed and everything else. Well, this has a noise toy. What am I talking about? Anyway, yeah. Usually these are, you know, they change 2 or 3 resistors, change this capacitor, jumper 12 volts over to the finals, blah blah blah, swing swing swing. No, these are good clean radios. Leave them alone. You can clip the modulation, just, you know, if you're going to use a power mic though, you don't really need to, but with a stock mic it is pretty paltry. Just turn your mic gain down a little bit on the sideband and she's good to go. These are pretty stable. I'm going to show you here from the recap. I can focus. Let's see. This crystal disintegrated, the 7.8 crystal, because of this stupid corrosive glue. But I might go through and check some of these. I know some of them turned into resistors. Some of these ones that had glue on them, this one's probably all right, but some of them had glue across the contacts, and it's just like a dead short. Some of them have turned into 100 ohm resistors, and you can also see that little TR45 I took out of there, so I don't ever have to worry about the Washington Cobra 142 beep bop boop when you key up. Burp, burp. So that's your muting circuit for the receiver when you change channels. I don't know why they need that. Most radios don't have that, but if you get yourself into one of these, if you can find a bill of material list and just order the caps from DigiKey, it's still cheaper than getting a kit, and the kit are always 10 or 16 volt caps. I use all 25 or 50 volt caps when I redo them. I'll upgrade the power supply from whatever it was, 470 or 680, something really low. You know, they don't even put a 1000. I usually put a 6800, or I think I put a 10,000 in this one. Also in the modulation side, replaced the 1000 with 2200s. Scraped all the glue off, and then I went through alignment procedure, which is, you can find it online, but it is pretty hard to find the Sam's manual that it's in. I think it's 222. I couldn't find one. I got an original Uniden manual, which doesn't give you much of descriptions or diagrams or pictures of where stuff is, all the test points. You got to kind of figure it out, but there's a will, there's a way. The main thing is get that glue out of there, and any parts that are smothered in the glue, unsolder them, take them out, clean up the legs, make sure they're okay. If they've disintegrated, figure out what the part is and replace it, and you'll get another 20 or 30 years out of one of these radios here. So that's all I have for you today. I'll probably try to answer any questions about this for a couple weeks after the video post. So if you got anything, you know, give me a holler, and I'll try my best to answer your questions. That's all I got for now. 73s, one and all. Catch you on the flip flop.